Curtis Jackson, you are more than welcome to bring that Versace Lamborghini to the car show, and your little homies too. These were the exact words a confident Rick Ross shouted out, publicly challenging his multi-platinum arch-rival, 50 Cent, to step foot onto his massive 300-acre Georgia empire. Rick Ross had every single reason to beat his chest and talk big. He had just successfully pulled off his absolute biggest, most historic annual car and bike show yet, turning his sprawling estate into a literal playground for billionaire automotive culture. Thousands of fans, car collectors, and heavy-hitting content creators flooded the gates to witness a jaw-dropping museum of classic American muscle cars, custom-built supercars, and multi-million-dollar luxury rides. The energy was unmatched, especially when the legendary Big Meech, fresh off a 19-year federal prison sentence, officially took home the prestigious Bike of the Year award for his custom motorcycle. It was an absolute, undeniable victory for the boss. But if there is one thing we know about 50 Cent, it is that he absolutely refuses to let Rick Ross enjoy a single moment of victory in peace. Just as the viral videos of the luxury festival began completely dominating the internet, 50 Cent erupted online with a savage, unexpected reaction that left fans completely stunned. Instead of attacking the multi-million-dollar fleet of cars or the private jets, 50 Cent went straight for the jugular, exposing what he claims is the fake, hilarious reality of Rick Ross's wealth. He ruthlessly mocked Ross for publicly cutting his own lawn, screaming to the world, "What kind of rich guy cuts his own grass? You are just trying to save money because you are broke." This petty, hilarious, and relentless back and forth has officially reignited the longest-running, most toxic rivalry in hip-hop history. Today, we are diving deep into the chaos of Rick Ross's biggest show, and the brutal online explosion from 50 Cent that completely flipped the internet upside down. When the gates of the Promised Land swung open for the 5th annual Rick Ross Car and Bike Show, Fayetteville, Georgia, witnessed an influx of raw automotive wealth on a scale that few could have ever anticipated. Rick Ross has spent decades transforming his image from a simple hip-hop hitmaker into a larger-than-life corporate tycoon, a man whose entire public persona is rooted in the unapologetic display of obscene, generational wealth. His estate, a jaw-dropping 300-acre empire featuring a 60,000-square-foot mansion, has become a physical landmark of self-made hip-hop luxury. For Ross, this property isn't just a home, it is an economic asset, a fortress of ownership that serves as the perfect backdrop for his legendary automotive obsessions. He has openly stated in interviews that real estate is the ultimate play, remarking that while corporate manufacturers can always forge a new luxury car, they can never forge a strategic corner lot. You have to buy that corner, you have to own that ground, and that precise mindset of absolute ownership is what led him to establish what is now billed as the biggest self-made automotive showcase in history. The sheer scale of this event required massive tactical planning, completely altering local infrastructure, and drawing heavy police security to manage the endless sea of visitors, car enthusiasts, and elite content creators. With over 48 dedicated officers managing the corridors along Old National Highway and strict local residence checkpoints in place, the entire area was transformed into a secure festival zone. Attendees were completely banned from simply walking onto the property, requiring secure shuttle buses to transport thousands from remote satellite lots to the center of the exhibition. The grounds of the estate quickly became an absolute sea of flashing cameras and revving engines, as rows upon rows of classic American muscle cars, custom vehicles, and high-end exotic supercars stretched across different sections of the sprawling property. It was a true celebration of automotive history and modern design, proving exactly why fans and corporate investors remain completely fascinated by the massive fortune the Port of Miami boss has spent decades assembling. Among the massive fleet of high-end vehicles on display, it was Rick Ross's own personal garage that left the crowd completely speechless, looking far more like a world-class private museum than a typical personal collection. Ross has cultivated an intense, multi-million-dollar passion for collecting vehicles that stand out and tell a vivid story of the hustle. Visitors were treated to an incredible, diverse lineup that perfectly spanned from beautifully restored vintage American classics like Chevrolet Chevelles, custom Impalas, and iconic Cadillacs, all the way to elite modern luxury statement pieces from Rolls-Royce, Bentley, and Mercedes-Maybach. Ross even showcased unique, custom-made golf carts wrapped in luxury Louis Vuitton prints, and his legendary white 745 BMW sedan, a historic vehicle he proudly describes as a monument to his straight dope boy days. The collection even featured modern, highly polarizing vehicles like the Tesla Cybertruck and custom military-themed camouflage builds, proving that his automotive palette is completely boundless. Every single vehicle rolled out onto the lawn represented a specific milestone in his legendary journey through the music and business landscape. However, the absolute crown jewel moment of the entire showcase belonged to a custom motorcycle build that completely shocked the crowd and solidified the event's place in hip-hop history. Demetrius "Big Meech" Flannery, the legendary figure, who is currently embarking on a massive, highly publicized second legendary run through entirely legitimate business avenues following his release from a 19-year federal prison sentence, officially became a major key holder at the show. Big Meech took home the highly coveted first-place trophy for Bike of the Year, with a mind-blowing, one-of-a-kind custom Harley-Davidson bagger. The incredible machine, which originally made massive waves at the prestigious SEMA show before arriving at the Promised Land, was fully equipped with show-quality custom styling and a thunderous, high-performance sound system. Comedian Carlos Miller and other celebrity attendees were left in absolute awe, openly expressing their shock and admiration at the incredible craftsmanship of the bike. For the streets and the culture, seeing Big Meech stand victoriously on Rick Ross's front lawn with the first-place trophy was a historic, full-circle moment that perfectly captured the raw energy of the entire automotive gathering. Yet, as the viral footage of this massive victory continued to flood every social media platform, generating tens of millions of views globally, the public conversation quickly shifted from the value of the cars to the true scale of Rick Ross's financial empire. The internet erupted into intense debates regarding his actual net worth, with fans and financial critics alike questioning the validity of mainstream wealth trackers. During a recent media exchange, interviewers pointed out that a quick Google search estimated his net worth at a staggering $150 million, asking the boss if those figures were officially accurate. Ross instantly burst into laughter, telling the media to never believe those basic internet numbers and joking that the algorithms had finally tweaked the estimation just a little bit. He boldly claimed that mainstream wealth trackers have never been accurate a single day since he entered the entertainment game, stating that whoever compiles those numbers needs to understand the massive international banking systems and private companies he operates through. He made it hilariously clear that he isn't dealing with basic retail banks, leaving the public to realize that his true fortune stretches far beyond public calculations. This massive financial flex, paired with the historic success of his automotive festival, was supposed to be the ultimate media victory for Rick Ross, cementing his status as an untouchable titan of black excellence and corporate ownership. But in the ruthless world of mainstream hip-hop, massive success instantly turns you into a target for the most calculated hater in the entire industry. The celebratory smoke had barely cleared from the lawns of the estate when 50 Cent completely erupted online, unleashing a savage, unexpected wave of public mockery that completely derailed Rick Ross's media parade. 50 Cent did not choose to attack the multi-million-dollar fleet of classic cars, nor did he choose to address the legendary appearance of Big Meech. Instead, the G-Unit mogul weaponized his social media platforms to target what he claims is the completely fraudulent, hilarious reality hiding behind the illusion of Rick Ross's massive fortune. The online assault instantly reignited a toxic, multi-decade blood feud, throwing the entire hip-hop community into absolute chaos, as the internet watched the two bitter billionaires go to war once again. Instead of focusing on the glamorous high-end supercars or the historic turnout of the crowd, 50 Cent zeroed in on a specific, highly publicized habit of Rick Ross that he claimed exposed the absolute truth about the boss's finances. For some time, Ross had been proudly posting videos of himself riding a massive tractor, meticulously cutting the vast lawns of his 300-acre Georgia estate. While Ross presented this to his followers as a therapeutic, hands-on approach to maintaining his empire, 50 Cent saw it as a desperate, hilarious cost-cutting measure. The G-Unit mogul flooded the internet with brutal commentary, mockingly asking his followers what kind of actual multimillionaire out here is cutting his own grass. He claimed that Ross was simply too broke to pay a professional landscaping crew to maintain a property of that magnitude, laughing relentlessly at the image of a self-proclaimed hip-hop billionaire doing manual labor just to save a couple of dollars. This unexpected, hyper-specific attack completely flipped the internet upside down, triggering an avalanche of viral memes, reaction videos, and intense debates across every hip-hop forum. 50 Cent went even further by bringing up the staggering, continuous overhead costs of maintaining a massive estate like the Promised Land, implying that the enormous mansion is nothing more than a giant white elephant draining Ross's bank accounts. He claimed that the property costs more to maintain than what Ross actually generates from his frequent nightclub appearances and hosting gigs, confidently stating that the local venues Ross frequents simply cannot hold enough people to fund that kind of lavish lifestyle long-term. To add extra fuel to the fire, 50 Cent openly questioned the basic infrastructure of the mansion, jokingly asking if the air conditioning inside the 60,000-square-foot house was even currently working, or if Ross was sitting in a sweltering, dark house just to keep the utility bills down. The brutal public roast instantly reignited the long-standing, toxic rivalry between the two stars, a multi-decade blood feud that originally started in the music world but quickly evolved into an all-out war of economic metrics and street credibility. This is a dispute that has stretched across countless years, creating endless headlines, explosive interviews, and petty social media exchanges that fans have watched like a high-stakes drama. For years, 50 Cent has maintained a reputation as the ultimate, unstoppable internet bully, a man who openly admits that he will intentionally mess up his rivals' lives entirely for fun, viewing psychological warfare as a personal sport. Whenever Ross attempts to celebrate a major professional milestone, a lucrative new brand partnership, or a historic business venture, 50 Cent is guaranteed to emerge from the shadows to completely step on the moment and control the narrative. The roots of this specific online eruption also tie back to recent, tense friction between the two moguls that took place on a prominent media platform. Rick Ross had recently appeared as a guest on a popular podcast alongside industry veterans Fat Joe and Jada, and during the conversation, the topic shifted toward older, legacy rappers who have allegedly lost their cultural momentum, financial drive, and industry motion. Ross immediately seized the opportunity to take a blatant, direct jab at 50 Cent, loudly agreeing with the sentiment and flashing a massive, heavily iced-out ring on his finger that he claimed was worth a staggering $1 million. Ross went so far as to make a highly aggressive, volatile joke on air, asking the hosts if they could possibly imagine the pure disrespect of him smacking 50 Cent across the face with a $1 million ring. The bold comment forced Fat Joe to immediately step in and de-escalate the situation, visibly uncomfortable, and telling Ross on camera that he was doing way too much and creating uncalled-for friction where it didn't belong. But 50 Cent never forgets a public slight, and his explosive reaction to the car show was the ultimate receipt, delivered at the exact moment Ross was feeling completely untouchable. The brilliant strategy behind 50 Cent's trolling is that he completely bypasses the traditional rap battle dynamics, choosing instead to target his opponent's core business credibility and public illusion of wealth. Supporters of Rick Ross fiercely rushed to his defense online, arguing that the unprecedented success of the car show, the sheer volume of high-end automotive assets, and the historic appearance of legendary figures like Big Meech proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that the boss's motion was completely undeniable. They argued that cutting his own grass was a symbol of ultimate, grounded ownership, not poverty. Meanwhile, 50 Cent's massive fan base doubled down on the mockery, celebrating the G-Unit leader for once again completely dismantling the carefully curated, glossy image of his fiercest rival with pure, unadulterated petty humor. Ultimately, Rick Ross's historic car show proved to be much more than just a typical automotive exhibition. It became a massive cultural mirror reflecting the complex, competitive egos that drive the highest levels of hip-hop culture. Whether people initially tuned in to check out the rows of flawlessly restored vintage muscle cars, the multi-million-dollar modern supercars, the legendary street icons taking home trophies, or the chaotic internet drama that followed, one thing remains absolutely indisputable: both of these men understand exactly how to command global attention and keep the entire internet talking for weeks on end. It is a rivalry that refuses to die, turning every single luxury purchase, business move, and public event into a brand new battlefield. What do you think about 50 Cent's savage reaction to Rick Ross's record-breaking automotive festival? Do you think his hilarious critique about the lawn care exposes a real flaw in the boss's financial armor? Or is it just pure, elite-level hating from the ultimate industry troll? Let me know your honest thoughts, wildest theories, and immediate reactions in the comment section below, and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss our next deep dive into the chaotic, high-stakes lifestyles of the rich and famous.